Whispers Beyond. A few years ago, I moved into an old Victorian house, charming on the outside but harboring a sinister secret within its time-worn walls. Strange occurrences began subtly, a whisper of unease that escalated into a full-blown nightmare. It all started innocently enough, doors creaking open on their own, faint footsteps echoing in empty hallways, and the unshakable feeling of being watched. I dismissed these eerie incidents as quirks of an ancient house, but the sinister truth was lurking in the shadows. Late one night, I was awoken by the chilling sound of a child's laughter, a sound that had no place in my childless home. As I stumbled down the darkened hallway, the laughter morphed into anguished cries, sending shivers down my spine. I reached the source, the long-forgotten nursery. The door swung open with a ghostly creak, revealing a room frozen in time. Dust-covered toys, a rocking chair swaying with an unseen force, and the air thick with an otherworldly presence. The cries intensified, echoing through the room, yet there was no child in sight. In a desperate attempt to dispel the haunting, I sought the help of paranormal investigators. As they delved into the house's history, a tale of tragedy unfolded. A family long ago had lost a child in that very nursery, and the spirit seemed unable to find peace. As the investigators attempted to communicate with the entity through seances and EVP sessions, the atmosphere in the house grew heavier. Unseen hands tugged at clothing, and ominous shadows danced in the periphery of our vision. The temperature dropped drastically, and whispers filled the air, conveying messages from the other side. One night, as I lay in bed, a spectral figure materialized at the foot, an apparition of a grief-stricken mother searching for her lost child. Frozen in terror, I could only watch as the figure faded away, leaving a profound sense of sorrow lingering in the room. Unable to endure the relentless paranormal activity, I made the heart-wrenching decision to leave the Victorian house. As I walked away, I glanced back one last time, half expecting to see the grieving mother staring from the window. To this day, I can't shake the feeling that something supernatural clings to that old house. The boundary between the living and the dead blurred, leaving me with an everlasting question. What else resides in the shadows beyond our understanding? The Bride in the Attic. It was my first year as a park ranger, fresh out of college, full of idealism and a thirst for adventure. The cabin was my assignment, a lone sentinel atop a windswept hill, said to be haunted by the soul of a jilted bride. Local folklore painted a picture of flickering lantern lights, mournful cries echoing through the pines, and a spectral figure in a tattered lace veil gliding through the mist. I scoffed, of course. Ghosts? Just campfire stories to spook wide-eyed tourists. But the first night there, something shifted. The wind picked up, moaning like a lost soul. Shadows played tricks on my eyes, stretching and twisting into spectral shapes. Then I heard it, a sob, soft and mournful, drifting from the attic above. Curiosity gnawed at me, chasing away my bravado. So I grabbed my flashlight, climbed the creaking stairs, and pushed open the heavy attic door. What greeted me wasn't the dusty junk I expected, but a pristine bridal chamber. A shimmering white gown hung suspended in the center, glimmering into the moonlight that filtered through a grimy window. As I touched the silk, a cold tendril wrapped around my wrist, and the sob rose again, this time right beside me. I whirled around, the beam of my flashlight landing on empty air. That night was just the beginning. Whispers filled the cabin at night, footsteps dancing on the floorboards when I was alone. Objects moved on their own, doors slammed shut in the dead of night, and the scent of lilies, fresh and cloying, filled the air whenever the spectral bride felt near. One night, she materialized before me, a translucent figure in a tattered veil, her eyes pools of endless sorrow. In a voice like rustling leaves, she spoke of heartbreak, of betrayal, of being left forever at the altar. Her pain was palpable, a chilling wave that washed over me, leaving me gasping for breath. But I wasn't just scared, I was moved. This wasn't some malevolent entity, but a tormented soul trapped in eternal despair. So I started leaving her trinkets, antique mirrors, porcelain dolls, anything that spoke of a lost wedding. With each offering, the sobs softened, the whispers gentler. Then, one night, as I lay in bed, listening to the wind in the trees, I heard it, a joyous sigh. I rushed to the attic, and the gown, once shimmering white, was now tinged with silver, the color of moonlight on water. The spectral bride stood before me, a faint smile playing on her lips. She raised a translucent hand, touched my cheek, and whispered, "Thank you." That was the last I saw of her. The cabin felt lighter, the whispers gone, replaced by a comforting silence. It's been years now, but I still visit the cabin sometimes, leaving a single white lily on the attic floor, a reminder of the spectral bride, the lonely soul I helped find peace, and the chilling truth I learned in that cabin. Sometimes the most horrifying stories are also the most heartbreaking. Eternal Echoes. It all began innocently enough when I stumbled upon an antique mirror at a local estate sale. Intricately adorned with ornate carvings, it exuded an eerie beauty that drew me in. Little did I know that this mirror held something far more sinister than just a reflection. As soon as I brought the mirror into my home, strange things started happening. Shadows flickered within its glass, and subtle whispers echoed in the quiet moments of the night. I dismissed it as mere imagination, attributing the peculiar occurrences to an overactive mind. One evening, as I gazed into the mirror, I caught a fleeting glimpse of a figure standing behind me, an entity that seemed to exist just beyond the edge of reality. Startled, I turned around, but there was nothing there. The room, however, felt charged with an otherworldly energy. The mirror became a focal point of inexplicable events, items misplaced, strange reflections that didn't align with the room's surroundings, and the unnerving feeling of being watched whenever I stood before it. It was as if the mirror held a portal to a dimension that eluded my comprehension. As my unease grew, I decided to consult a paranormal expert. They conducted a seance, attempting to communicate with whatever entity might reside within the mirror's depths. The room chilled, and a spectral voice whispered through the air, recounting tales of tragedy and loss. Despite the expert's efforts to clean the mirror of its supernatural presence, the haunting persisted. I couldn't escape the feeling that the entity had attached itself to me, its whispers echoing in the corners of my mind. Sleepless nights became the norm as the paranormal activity escalated. Desperate for respite, I decided to part ways with the mirror. Yet, no matter where I placed it or who took possession, the haunting echoes seemed to linger. The mirror became a cursed relic, passing from owner to owner, each one entangled in the web of its malevolent energy. To this day, I can't shake the haunting memories of that mirror, a seemingly innocent antique that unraveled a nightmarish tale. It serves as a stark reminder that some objects, seemingly benign, can carry a sinister energy that transcends our understanding of the natural world.